Hi, welcome to the Commercial Gas Engineer channel. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. I was always told that when I was studying to be a plumber, when I was training on my apprenticeship many years ago, and basically I want to pass that on to you. You have to not rush into jobs as much as you may want to run in when you have a job to do. Even if it's a simple job, don't rush in. All right, I'm here today doing a simple job. I'm changing a thermostat and or a temperature sensor. Let me call what the manufacturers call it, a thermostat regulator. Yep, I'm here changing this. It's not going to take me very long, but I could rush in and start popping off the head of this one, unscrewing the screw, and then not pull it back in as I found it. For instance, throwing this in and not. What you should do is that when you're installing something like this, have a look at the position of the existing one. Okay, great, it's facing this way, so match it. Also make sure the power's off and so on, safe isolation. Make sure you've got all the tools you need, and just bear in mind when you're changing things how you're going to go about do it. Do a little what's the word, recce, or mental visualization, almost like a chess player visualizing their moves beforehand. So I've got my cable ties here, so I'm going to need cable ties to put them back in. I want it to be better than how I found it, so I'm going to pull it back in. I don't have these small cable ties here, these ultra small ones, but I've got other ones that will do a similar job. So just do a little walkthrough, not just on when you're changing a temperature regulator, but when you're carrying out any work. Walk around the plant room before you go in. Before you don't have to rush in with your tools. Sometimes you can go in with a clipboard beforehand. Look professional, write down things like, right, what tools am I going to need? You're not going to need every single tool in your tool bag, so you may not need to walk around with the heaviest tool bag in the world, letting everybody know that Bob the Builder's here with his big bag. You can walk in first and do a visualization of what you need. Check first, because you may see something wrong in the plant room, something unsafe. So beforehand, just have a little look to see what's going on. Do a mental visualization. A little tip I wanted to show you as well was that always bear in mind, if you walk into a plant room and you have three boilers, three of the same boilers, like I've got one here, I've got another boiler here, and I've got one over here. When you're doing breakdowns, there's no reason why, if you're working on one water heater and one's not working, for instance, and there's two other gas-fired water heaters in the plant room that are working, then you've basically got you've got a get out of jail card, because one, you can swap parts off the unit to see what's wrong with the unit you're working on, and two, you can say, right, you two units are working, what are you doing that the other two aren't doing? So you can get your multimeter out and say, where have I got power, where haven't I got power? So when you go into a plant room and there's one boiler, I'm repeating this, but when there's one boiler not working and you've got three or four that are, all right, at the same time, be careful, because you can damage PCBs, like just be popping PCBs. But most of the time, more often than not, you can use those to get you out of trouble. So you can go to one boiler, write down, right, I've taken the PCB off this unit, or the fan, or I think it's such and such, and that can help you in diagnosis. But remember, plan first. Don't go in and just start grabbing your tools and start changing stuff, especially if you're changing like a PCB. Take pictures of the terminals, take pictures of things, write stuff down. Don't just rush in like a fool. All right, take your time and prepare. All right, thank you for joining me. I hope that's helped you. So just go in with pen and paper first if you can. It's almost like playing chess, sitting on your hands, rather than making moves before you've thought about it and taking your hand off the piece. And by the time you've done that, you've lost the match, because you've moved the piece already, you've committed. So think first before you move.